On January 2, 2025, a significant political crisis unfolded in South Korea as the Joint Investigation Team attempted to execute an arrest warrant for impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol. This event came in the wake of a court's decision on December 31, 2024, which approved the arrest warrant based on Yoon's refusal to cooperate with an ongoing investigation into his controversial declaration of martial law on December 3, 2024. The situation has escalated tensions in the country, drawing both supporters and opponents of Yoon to his residence, resulting in clashes and heightened security measures.
Timeline of events leading to the crisis.
1. December 3, 2024, President Yoon Suk-yeol declared a state of martial law purportedly to combat anti-state elements.
However, this order faced swift backlash, leading to an extraordinary political response.
2. December 3, 2024 evening, the National Assembly convened an emergency session, where lawmakers successfully voted to rescind Yoon's martial law decree within just 6 hours of its announcement.
This quick action demonstrated the legislature's firm stance against Yoon's unilateral decision and set the stage for further political fallout.
3. December 14, 2024. Following the martial law debacle, the National Assembly voted to impeach Yoon, citing abuse of power and the potential for insurrection. This impeachment halted Yoon's presidential powers pending a ruling from the Constitutional Court. 4. December 31, 2024, a South Korean court approved an arrest warrant for Yoon, which was justified by his continued refusal to comply with investigative summons related to the martial law declaration and the serious charges he faced, including insurrection.
5. January 2, 2025, the Joint Investigation Team attempted to raid Yoon's presidential residence to execute the arrest warrant. However, Yoon's security team blocked the police from entering,
citing legal protections regarding locations associated with state secrets.
Key details of the investigation and arrest warrant.
The arrest warrant was issued amid fears that Yoon might evade questioning, as he had already ignored multiple summonses from the investigation team. The charges against him were severe, with potential penalties including life imprisonment or even the death penalty, as insurrection is one of the few crimes for which a sitting president does not enjoy immunity.
Yoon's legal team vehemently contested the legality of the arrest warrant, labeling it an unlawful and invalid act.
They argued that the investigation agency lacked the authority to seek such measures against a president. Furthermore, according to South Korean law, sites with potential military secrets require consent from the individual in charge for searches to proceed,
complicating the execution of the arrest warrant. Public reaction and political climate.
The political atmosphere surrounding Yoon's crisis has been charged, with supporters rallying outside his residence expressing solidarity and calling for his reinstatement.
Conversely, opponents have also gathered, demanding accountability and an end to what they perceive as Yoon's authoritarian tendencies. This division has led to confrontations between the two groups, necessitating police presence to maintain order.
In a defiant stance, Yoon vowed to fight alongside his supporters against what he described as threats to the nation's sovereignty. He characterized the political opposition as collaborating with anti-state elements, further exacerbating tensions. His statements have been met with condemnation from opposition lawmakers, who accused him of inflaming the situation.
Broader implications for South Korea. The events surrounding Yoon's impeachment and the subsequent legal challenges reflect deeper divisions within South Korean society and politics.
The crisis not only raises questions about the future of Yoon's presidency, but also about the stability of the government and the rule of law in South Korea. Acting President Choi Sang-mok, who took over after Yoon's impeachment, has called for national unity, underscoring the gravity of the situation.
As the Constitutional Court prepares to rule on Yoon's impeachment, the political landscape remains volatile.
The potential for further unrest looms large, particularly if Yoon's supporters continue to mobilize in response to his legal challenges. The outcome of this situation will be closely watched, as it has significant implications for South Korea's political future and its democratic institutions.
Conclusion. The unfolding events surrounding Yoon Suk-yeol's impeachment and the arrest warrant have plunged South Korea into a political crisis of unprecedented proportions. With both sides firmly entrenched in their positions, the days ahead are likely to be critical in determining not only Yoon's fate but also the overall health of South Korea's democracy. The interplay of legal proceedings, public sentiment, and political maneuvering will shape the trajectory of this ongoing saga, making it a pivotal moment in the nation's history. The situation surrounding South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol is marked by significant tensions and counterintuitive developments. The issuance of an arrest warrant on December 31, 2024, following a failed martial law declaration earlier in the month, has sparked a political crisis that reveals the complexities of governance and public sentiment in South Korea. Arrest warrant and political context. The arrest warrant was approved by a Seoul court due to Yoon's refusal to cooperate with the investigation into his imposition of martial law on December 3, which was intended to combat anti-state elements. However, this decree was lifted just 6 hours later after lawmakers intervened, highlighting a significant shift in political power dynamics. This rapid revocation of martial law, prompted by a strong parliamentary response, is a critical turning point, illustrating the checks and balances inherent in South Korean governance. Notably, the fact that an arrest warrant was issued for an incumbent president is unprecedented in South Korean history, underscoring the severity of the situation. Public reaction and defiance. Yoon's supporters and opponents have clashed outside his residence, creating a volatile atmosphere that reflects deep divisions within South Korean society. Yoon's insistence on resisting arrest and his calls to his supporters to fight against the authorities reveal a counterintuitive aspect of his leadership. Despite facing severe legal challenges, he maintains a defiant stance, rallying his base around claims of national sovereignty threats. This tactic could be seen as politically astute. By framing the situation as a battle against perceived external and internal enemies, he seeks to galvanize public support even amidst his impeachment. Legal challenges and procedures. Yoon's legal team argues that the arrest warrant and search orders are illegal, citing the need for consent when searching locations linked to national secrets. This legal maneuvering highlights the complexities of South Korean law, particularly concerning the immunity and protections afforded to the president. The refusal of Yoon's security team to allow police access to his residence complicates the implementation of the warrant, drawing parallels to past instances where political figures evaded similar legal actions through obstructive tactics. This scenario raises questions about the efficacy of legal frameworks in holding powerful figures accountable. Implications for governance. The political turmoil also has broader implications for governance in South Korea. The impeachment of Yoon and the subsequent impeachment of his successor Han Duck-soo present a scenario where political instability could hinder effective governance and lead to a power vacuum. The interim president Choi Sang-mok faces immense pressure to stabilize the situation while navigating the contentious political landscape. His efforts to appoint new judges to the Constitutional Court, while seen as a move to ensure judicial fairness, are also criticized as overreaching, demonstrating the precarious balance between authority and legislative oversight in times of crisis. Conclusion. In conclusion, the ongoing crisis surrounding Yoon Suk-yeol reflects the intricate interplay of legal, political, and public factors in South Korea. The unprecedented nature of an arrest warrant for a sitting president, the intense public reactions, and the legal challenges posed by Yoon's defense team all contribute to a complex narrative that challenges conventional expectations of political authority and accountability. As the situation unfolds, the potential for further political upheaval remains high, posing significant questions about the future of governance in South Korea. The report detailing the political crisis surrounding South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol's impeachment and the subsequent legal challenges presents several significant elements that many might overlook. Here are the key points that deserve further attention. 1. The legal precedent of an arrest warrant for a sitting president. The issuance of an arrest warrant for an incumbent president is unprecedented in South Korean history.
This action not only reflects the severity of the situation but also sets a legal and political precedent that could have lasting implications for the future of governance in South Korea. The significance lies in the potential erosion of presidential immunity and the establishment of accountability for high-ranking officials. This could influence future administrations and political behavior as it establishes that no one is above the law, regardless of their position. 2. Public reaction and political polarization. The division among the populace, with supporters and opponents of Yoon clashing outside his residence, highlights the deepening political polarization in South Korea. This phenomenon is significant because it reflects broader societal tensions that could destabilize the nation. The polarization may lead to further unrest and violence, disrupting not only political processes but also social cohesion. Understanding how the public perceives these events is crucial, as it can inform future electoral outcomes and political strategies. 3. The role of external influences and international reactions. The report mentions concerns from Washington regarding the political crisis in South Korea. This highlights the interconnectedness of global politics and the influence of foreign governments on domestic issues. The U.S. has strategic interests in the region, particularly concerning North Korea. The implications of this crisis may extend beyond South Korea's borders, potentially affecting diplomatic relations and regional security. 4. The nature of the charges against Yoon. Yoon faces serious allegations, including insurrection, which carry severe penalties. The gravity of these charges is significant not just for Yoon's future but also for the integrity of South Korea's political system. Such accusations could indicate systemic issues within the government and raise questions about the stability of political institutions. Moreover, the implications of a legal framework that allows for such severe charges against a president could deter future leaders from making bold decisions, stifling political innovation and reform. 5. Impact on governance and stability. With Yoon's impeachment and the appointment of acting leaders, there is a profound impact on governance. The rapid turnover and instability can hinder effective governance and lead to policy paralysis. This disruption could affect critical areas such as economic management, security policies, and international diplomacy. The uncertainty surrounding leadership can also affect public confidence in government institutions. 6. Legal challenges and constitutional implications. Yoon's legal team's assertion that the arrest and search warrants are illegal raises important questions about the rule of law and the boundaries of judicial authority in South Korea. This aspect of the report underscores a potential conflict between the judiciary and the executive, with implications for the separation of powers. How the Constitutional Court rules on Yoon's impeachment and the validity of the warrants could reshape the legal landscape in South Korea. 7. Historical context of martial law in South Korea. The report references a brief return to martial law, evoking memories of South Korea's authoritarian past. This historical context is significant. It reminds citizens of the fragility of democracy and the potential for power to be misused. The revival of such measures could provoke public backlash, leading to protests and demands for greater democratic safeguards. The historical perspective can inform current public sentiment and political movements advocating for reform. 8. Media narratives and information control. The different portrayals of the situation by various media outlets indicate how narratives can shape public perception. Media framing can influence the level of public support for Yoon or his opponents, impacting the political landscape. It also raises concerns about media freedom and the potential for information control in politically sensitive situations. The role of social media in amplifying narratives and mobilizing support or opposition is another dimension worth exploring. 9. The psychological impact on the nation. The ongoing crisis could have psychological repercussions for the South Korean public, particularly among younger generations who might feel disillusioned with the political system.
Such sentiments can lead to apathy or conversely increased activism and calls for reform.
Understanding the psychological implications of political instability is critical for predicting future civic engagement and societal trends.
10. Future political dynamics. As the situation unfolds, the political landscape is likely to shift.
The immediate response to this crisis will determine the future of political alliances and opposition movements in South Korea. The actions taken by Yoon supporters and the government in the coming weeks will be pivotal in shaping the political narrative and potential pathways for reconciliation or further division. In conclusion, the complexities of Yoon Suk-yeol's impeachment and the surrounding political turmoil reflect deeper issues within South Korean society governance and international relations. Each overlooked element carries significance that could influence the trajectory of South Korea's political future, societal cohesion, and global standing. The unfolding situation will be crucial to monitor as it may redefine the relationship between the state and its citizens, and the manner in which power is exercised and contested in a democratic context. 1. Legal and constitutional implications. The arrest warrant issued against President Yoon Suk-yeol marks a significant moment in South Korean political history. It raises critical questions about the limits of presidential power, the legality of a sitting president being arrested, and the potential consequences of such actions on the country's democratic governance. The Constitutional Court's upcoming ruling on his impeachment will further define the boundaries of executive authority and accountability in South Korea, which could set a precedent for future administrations. 2. Political polarization in public response. The unfolding crisis has intensified political polarization in South Korea, with Yoon's supporters and detractors clashing outside his residence. This division not only reflects the current political climate but also poses a threat to social cohesion and stability. The public's reaction, including protests and counter-protests, highlights the deep-rooted partisan sentiments that could influence the nation's political landscape for years to come. An in-depth analysis of public sentiment and its implications for political discourse and governance is essential. 3. International reactions and implications. The implications of Yoon's situation extend beyond South Korea, drawing concern from international actors, particularly the United States. The crisis has raised alarms about regional stability and governance, particularly in light of South Korea's strategic position in East Asia. Analyzing how international stakeholders react to this political turmoil can provide insights into the global implications of domestic politics, especially regarding alliances, trade, and security. 4. Impact on governance and future leadership. The political crisis surrounding President Yoon not only affects his immediate future but also has profound implications for the governance of South Korea. The interim leadership and the ability of acting President Choi Sang-mok to stabilize the situation will be crucial. Furthermore, the political fallout from this event could reshape party dynamics, influence upcoming elections, and alter the trajectory of South Korean politics. Examining the potential shifts in governance and leadership patterns will be vital for understanding the future of the nation. 1. Richard Nixon and the Watergate Scandal, 1972 to 1974. The Watergate scandal involved a break-in at the Democratic National Committee headquarters and the subsequent cover-up by President Nixon's administration. As investigations progressed, it was revealed that Nixon had attempted to obstruct justice, leading to a constitutional crisis. The situation escalated, culminating in Nixon's resignation on August 8, 1974. To avoid impeachment. The scandal highlighted severe abuses of presidential power and ended with Nixon being pardoned by his successor Gerald Ford. 2. Brazilian President Dilma Rousseff's impeachment, 2016. Dilma Rousseff faced impeachment in Brazil due to accusations of fiscal mismanagement and manipulating the budget to hide the true state of the economy. The political climate in Brazil became highly polarized, with massive protests both for and against her presidency. Ultimately, the Brazilian Senate voted to impeach Rousseff in August 2016, resulting in her removal from office. This case reflects how political crises can emerge from economic turmoil and lead to significant governmental changes. 3. The impeachment of South Korean President Park Geun-hye 2016 to 2017. Park Geun-hye was impeached by the National Assembly over a corruption scandal involving her close confidant Choi Soon-sil. The allegations included bribery and abuse of power, which led to widespread protests in South Korea. The Constitutional Court upheld her impeachment in March 2017, making her the first South Korean president to be removed from office. This case underscored the fragility of political power and the impact of public dissent on governance. The political crisis in South Korea centered around the impeachment and legal challenges faced by former President Yoon Suk-yeol has profound implications for the country's future. As we look ahead, several predictions can be made regarding the political landscape, public sentiment, and institutional reforms in South Korea. Political landscape. 1. Continued political turmoil. The immediate future will likely see ongoing political instability as Yoon's impeachment proceedings unfold. The Constitutional Court has 180 days to decide on the legitimacy of the impeachment, which could prolong the uncertainty and exacerbate divisions within the political system. The interim government led by Choi Sang-mok may struggle to establish legitimacy amid public scrutiny and opposition challenges. 2. Rise of populism. The events surrounding Yoon's impeachment may fuel a rise in populist sentiment. As economic and social challenges persist, political figures who can tap into public discontent and present themselves as anti-establishment figures may gain traction. This could lead to the emergence of new political parties or movements that prioritize grassroots engagement over traditional party structures. 3. Impact on future elections. The fallout from Yoon's presidency and subsequent impeachment could influence voter behavior in upcoming elections. Disillusionment with the current political elite may lead to a surge in support for opposition parties or independent candidates. Voter turnout could increase as citizens become more engaged in the political process, driven by a desire for accountability and transparency. Public sentiment. For polarization of society, the situation surrounding Yoon has already highlighted deep societal divides in South Korea, and this polarization is expected to intensify. Supporters of Yoon may continue to rally around him, viewing his impeachment as a politically motivated attack, while opponents will likely push for accountability and reform. This divide could manifest in protest, social media campaigns, and increased tensions between different demographic groups. 5. Demand for transparency and reform. Following the turmoil, there will be a growing demand among the public for greater transparency in government operations and reforms to prevent abuses of power. Citizens may call for institutional changes, including stronger checks and balances, enhanced oversight of executive actions, and reforms to the impeachment process to ensure it is used judiciously. Institutional reforms. 6. Judicial and legislative reforms. The crisis may prompt a re-evaluation of South Korea's judicial and legislative frameworks. Calls for reforms could lead to changes in how impeachment processes are conducted, ensuring they are fair and transparent. Additionally, there may be discussions around strengthening the independence of the judiciary and curbing the influence of political parties in legal matters. 7. Military and security oversight. Given the context of Yoon's martial law declaration, there will likely be increased scrutiny of military and security practices in South Korea. Reforms may be proposed to ensure civilian oversight of military actions and to prevent future abuses of power. This could involve establishing clearer protocols for the deployment of military forces in domestic matters. International relations. 8. Impact on foreign policy. The internal political crisis will have ramifications for South Korea's foreign policy. Relations with key allies, particularly the United States, may be affected as the new leadership navigates the fallout from Yoon's actions. There may be a push for a more stable and predictable foreign policy approach, particularly concerning North Korea and regional security dynamics. 9. Economic implications. the political instability could lead to economic repercussions, including fluctuations in investment and market confidence.
The interim government will face pressure to stabilize the economy and address pressing issues such as unemployment and inflation.
Economic policy will likely be a priority with a focus on restoring public trust in government institutions.
Conclusion.
In summary, the future outlook for South Korea in the wake of Yoon Suk-yeol's impeachment is marked by potential political instability, societal polarization, and calls for reform. The developments over the coming months will shape the trajectory of South Korean politics and its institutions. As citizens demand accountability and transparency, the government will need to navigate these challenges carefully to restore public trust and ensure stability in a rapidly changing political environment.